On Season 7, Episode 8 of 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Big Ed Brown interrogated Liz Woods. The night of their engagement party was a disaster. Ed made it so, but he chose to blame Liz. He also accused Liz of having ex-girlfriends, demanded that she leave their house, and repeatedly called her dumb. Big Ed spent so much of this season insisting that going to therapy had changed him. Obviously not. Sunday's new episode began where the previous weeks left off, with Big Ed berating his fiancée over the phone. Letting his insecurities get the better of him, Ed had accused Liz of having an intimate relationship with a woman at the party. Liz, who is not bisexual and never dated the woman in question, was disgusted but not surprised that Ed could not resist ruining the night. Meanwhile, he called her immature and demanded that she return after she left. Ed even claimed to be worried about Liz, noting that she had left the party on foot. Her other option was to stay at the party and allow Ed to interrogate her, which is a non-starter for anyone but Ed. Fortunately, not only did production follow her the whole time, but they also gave her a ride. But before Liz got into the vehicle, she tossed her ring into the grass. Simply put, she felt heartbroken. Ed had told her over the phone that he was no longer willing to marry her. We cannot emphasize enough that this came out of nowhere. One moment, they were partying. The next, Ed heatedly demanded to know whether the woman with whom Liz had argued was an ex-girlfriend. Liz returned home, only to find a still angry Ed waiting to confront her, all the while telling her that she should move out. Remember, Ed has a long history of demanding that Liz leave the house when they have fights. That's extremely toxic for people who are living together. Ed insisted that all of this therapy that he has allegedly undergone has changed his ways, but the evidence suggests otherwise. Big Ed continued to insist that Liz had been in relationships with women. He was no longer asking, but asserting. First, not only would there be nothing wrong with Liz having women exes, but it wouldn't be any of his business. But second, while Liz is not bi and therefore Ed was not outing her, it would have been awful if he had outed her. Especially like this. That's what he did to Rosemary Vega. Where are Ed's insecurities coming from? Aside from his disability, his age, and his innumerable character flaws, we mean. Well, Liz noted that Ed is the one who actually goes on dating sprees when the two are taking breaks. Perhaps it is impossible for him to believe that not everyone does this, so he chose to imagine that Liz did the same. Are you a lesbian? He asks. Click on the bell icon to stay up to date on my new videos. But it's not really a question. Like we said, Ed has clearly made up his mind. In his view, he's not awaiting an answer, but a confession. Liz clarifies that she's straight. She's not interested in women, and does not have any ex-girlfriends. By the way, one of the women from the engagement party also confirmed that there was never anything sexual or romantic with Liz. Liz has more to say than just pointing out how unhinged Ed's fixation is. She points out that their relationship has real, non-imaginary issues. He has not been coming to bed. Ed has not been cuddling with her or showing her real affection. Also, Ed is so wildly insecure that he has forbidden Liz, who also has a curfew, whose comings and goings he constantly monitors, from seeing many of her friends. They're all trashy, Ed then asserts. Disliking one or two of a partner's friends isn't so unusual. Ed isn't cutting Liz off from toxic people, he is the toxic person. Among other issues, Ed and Liz also clearly insult each other. They both body shame each other, including over their weight. Ed at one point calls Liz overweight before taking it back. He also blurts out on television that she has told him that he has a small penis. For most people, waterboarding could not have made them divulge that. When Ed gets tired of Liz standing up for himself, well, it's time to change tactics. Stop it, you're drunk, he told her with an air of condescension. Ed also wants time apart until he gets every single question answered. Liz already answered his questions, he just chose to disbelieve her. Ed claims that most of Liz's friends are gay women. It seems that this has been bothering Ed for some time. Whether it's biphobia or merely his insecurities, we don't know. "I think you are bisexual," he then tells her. Yes, even though she already told him that she is not. Then, of course, Ed learns that the $13,000 ring is in the grass or in a bush somewhere after Liz threw it. Many people would understandably feel hurt under the circumstances. But Ed proceeds to call Liz dumb multiple times. What a toxic, messy nightmare.